Okay, now let's go through some examples for Section 2. All right, let's go through some examples for Section 2. And as we're going through these examples for Section 2, we'll be stopping and going through some of the tricks that they're using so that you can understand how to watch out for getting the correct answer choice. Okay? All right, so for this Section 2, of course, it's going to be 11 through 20. They're going to break it up. They're going to tell you, they're going to first say you have some time to look at questions. Let's see here. Probably going to say you have time to look at questions 11 through 16 first. And then they're going to say afterwards you have time to look at questions 17 through 20. All right? So we have, in the first part of Section 2, we have just our normal fill-the-blank question. So when we're doing a fill-the-blank question, we want to be aware of what's important to listen out for. Basically, we're listening out for synonym language, right? So we have to really pay attention to the words that come before and after the blank line, because that's what our answer is going to connect to. It's either going to connect directly to the word before the blank line or directly to the words after the blank line. And so you want to circle those words. Like for number 11, you will circle new. A new. Right, whatever number 11 is going to connect to a new. Number 12, it says, located in the shopping center to the blank of Bradcaster. So, again, because we have the preposition of here, of Bradcaster, whatever number 12 is connected to of Bradcaster. All right, number 13, it says, has sports, blank line, and equipment on floors 1 through 3. Right? So, whatever this answer is connected to and equipment. Sports something and equipment. Number 14 is going to be a number because of the word days. 15, it says shop specializes in equipment for. Our key word is specialize. Specialize in equipment for what? But specialize. That's our key thing there, specialize. Keep in mind, a lot of times for the language that's before the blank line, they're going to use synonyms for that language, because synonyms, if a student understands synonyms, they'll know when they're saying the answer. If you don't understand synonyms, then you won't be clear in terms of understanding when the answer is being said. And for number 16, it says has a special section which just sells. Has a special section which just sells. Keywords there are just sales. Right? What does just mean? Right? Who can tell me? Just means what? Just means only, right? Right? So again, listen for the synonym language. Listen for the synonym language. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play the tape. All right? And we're going to play it through 11 through 16. And then we'll back it up and we will go through the answer choices together. Right, so here they are giving your time where you would go through it and do exactly what I just did in terms of analyzing.
Now we go to Jane, who is going to tell us about what's happening in town this weekend.
Right, thanks, Andrew. And now on to what's new. And do we really need yet another sports shop in Bradcaster? Well, most of you probably know Sports World, the branch of a Danish sports goods company that opened a few years ago. It's attracted a lot of custom, and so the company has now decided to open another branch in the area. It's going to be in the shopping centre to the west of Bradcaster, so that will be good news for all of you who found the original shop in the north of the town hard to get to. I was invited to a special preview, and I can promise you, this is the ultimate in sports retailing. The whole place has been given a new minimalist look with the company's signature colours of black and red. The first 3 floors have a huge range of sports clothing as well as equipment. And on the top floor, there's a cafe and a book and DVD section. You'll find all the well-known names, as well as some less well-known ones. If they haven't got exactly what you want in stock, they promise to get it for you in 10 days, unlike the other store, where it can take up to 14 days. They cover all the major sports, including football, tennis and swimming. But they particularly focus on running, and they claim to have the widest range of equipment in the country. As well as that, a whole section of the 3rd floor is devoted to sports bags, including the latest designs from the States. If you can't find what you want here, it doesn't exist.
Before you hear the rest of the programme, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20.
Okay, so let's go ahead and back up a little bit and go through these answer choices.
Now we go to Jane, who is going to tell us about what's happening in town this weekend.
Right, thanks, Andrew. And now on to what's new. And do we really need yet another sports shop in Bradcaster? Well, most of you probably know Sports World, the branch of a Danish sports goods company that opened a few years ago. It's attracted a lot of custom, and so the company has now decided to open another branch in the area. It's going to be in the shopping centre to the west of Bradcaster. So that will be good news for all of you who found the original shop in the north of the town hard to get to.
All right, so number 11 is branch. Branch, B-R-A-N-C-H. Because they said open another. Right? Open another. When they say it, open another is synonym for saying a new. Okay, open another is synonym for saying a new. So a new branch, open another branch. Okay? So number 11 is branch, B-R-A-N-C-H.
It's going to be in the shopping centre to the west of Bradcaster.
Number 12 was easy, right? They said it's going to be in a shopping center to the west of Bradcaster. So the answer for number 12 is west. Instead of saying located in, they said it's going to be in the shopping center to the west of Bradcaster.
This is the ultimate in sports retailing. The whole place has been given a new minimalist look with the company's signature colours of black and red. The first 3 floors have a huge range of sports clothing as well as equipment. And on the top floor, there's a cafe and a book and DVD section. Huge range of sports clothing.
All right, notice something right here for number 13. For number 13, what they did here was they said the end of the sentence first. They said the first 3 floors, right? So here you can tell they're changing up the word order of how something is said. They're mixing up the word order of how it's said, right? They said so they start off by talking about the first 3 floors.
This is the ultimate in sports retailing. The whole place has been given a new minimalist look with the company's signature colours of black and red. The first 3 floors have a huge range of sports clothing as well as equipment. And on the top floor, there's a cafe and a book and DVD section. As well as equipment.
Right, so the answer is clothing. C-L-O-T-H-I-N-G. Sports clothing. Right, what they did was they mentioned the end of the sentence first 3 floors, then they said it has sports clothing and equipment. So the reason why I'm pointing that out to you as being important is you can't just sit back and wait and say it's going to go in this order. Has sports clothing and equipment on floor. They're not going to say it in that same order. They mix up the words, okay? So you have to be aware of that. Be aware.
and a book and DVD section. You'll find all the well-known names, as well as some less well-known ones. If they haven't got exactly what you want in stock, they promise to get it for you in 10 days, unlike the other store where it can take up to 14 days. They cover all the major sports.
All right, so they said they promised to get it to you in 10 days. And then they tried to trick you by throwing out what they did in the past. A lot of times when they deal with numbers, they'll tell you what they did in the past. Here they said they'll get it for you in 10 days, unlike the other store where it was 14 days. We don't care about what they did at the other store, right? But a lot of times they use language like used to, or they said unlike in the past, or the last time. So they use that to try to trick you into maybe picking another number. But the correct answer here is 10.
They cover all the major sports, including football, tennis, and swimming. But they particularly focus on running.
All right, answer is running. R-U-N-N-I-N-G. How do we know that? Because they said they particularly focus on running. Particular is synonym for specialize. I've told you, you have to know the synonym, you have to listen for synonym language, right? The answer will connect to a synonym. It will connect to a synonym for a word that's in the question. So instead of saying specialize in equipment for running, particularly focus on equipment for running. Okay? I hope you're getting it.
And they claim to have the widest range of equipment in the country. As well as that, a whole section of the third floor is devoted to sports bags.
All right, so number 16 is bags. B-A-G-S. Right, they said they have a whole section devoted to. All right, when they say devoted to, that is synonym for just sales. Devoted to just sales. All right, so the answer is bags. Now, some of you may say, well, what if I wrote sports bags? You're wrong, because the directions say you can only write one word. Write one word, right? So if you write sports bags, that's 2 words, and that will be wrong. So you can't do that. All right? So I'm going to write down these answers for you very quickly, and you'll see, just in case you'd wanted to see, like, check your own spelling. All right, we are in IELTS book 9, test 1, section 2. And number 11 was branch, because they said open another. Open another is a synonym for saying a new. Right? That's how we know what the answer was. Number 12 was west. That was straightforward. Number 13 was clothing. And as I told you, here what they did was they mixed up the word order. Right? They mixed up the word order. Right? What they did was they said the end of the sentence first about the first 3 floors. Right? And then they say it has sports clothing and equipment. So they said the end of the sentence first and then went back to the beginning. So be aware of that in terms of them mixing up the word order. Number 14 was 10. Right? They'll get it to you within 10 days. And they said unlike our other store. Was 14 days. Right? So again, they try to trick you by giving out some number from the past. Number 15 was running. And yet the particularly focus is synonym for saying specialize. And I'm going to use the American spelling of specialize. I know they have the British spelling with an S. Number 16 was bags. Right? And they said dedicated to, which is the same thing as saying just sales. Okay, so you can see they used a couple different traps here, tricks for you. They use synonym language. They use changing up the word order, and they use with numbers saying some other number from the past, which can't be the answer. All right, but if you can hear synonym language, like after you heard particularly focused, they said running. After you heard dedicated to, which means just sales, they said the answer bags. After they said open another, which is synonym for a new, you heard the answer branch. So if you can hear the synonym language, then you can really be able to focus and hear what the actual answer is. Okay? So now let's move on and do, we're going to go to the next lecture and do numbers 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay? So I'll talk to you soon, and good job.